correspondence. It seems to be the most open form of communication, right? And also the benefit, and this is my strategy with email newsletters, like I aspire to send email newsletters that I myself would like to receive. And so being able to share some thoughts or turbo thoughts, if like my thought is, if you share an idea, right, even if the idea, even if whatever you send, right, even if it sparks one interesting idea, is totally worth it, right? And also one thing I noticed about what Phil's Coffee does, right, like I think Phil's Coffee, right, like there's a logo on their cup or their wall or something that says tell a friend. And so still telling your friends and word of mouth is the best. So like in the bottom of my email newsletters or emails, I'll be like, oh, you know, if this inspired you or sparked an interesting thought to you, feel free to forward to a friend. Include a link to the newsletter in the footer just in case people have multiple emails, want to resubscribe or subscribe with a different email or just share it with their friends. And so word of mouth is quite good. And also the thing is with Clout, right? The question is, would you rather have Elon Musk or Kanye read your newsletter, or have like a trillion random people read it, right? And so it's important, like it's impossible to know, like the ideal way to build Clout is you build Clout with other people who have Clout, right? That's the game, right? But it's impossible to know who has Clout, who doesn't have Clout, etc. And so I guess the question is like, don't sell yourself short. Like for example, there's actually a lot of Hollywood actors and producers and big name producers who actually follow me and you know, have done workshops with me, have invested in my artwork and products and done one-on-ones and stuff like that. And so, and also big name corporations and stuff like that, and big head honchos in these big companies. And so I almost think that the ideal strategy is assume as if the head honchos are actually reading your stuff. And so essentially don't dumb it down, right? Like make it as high impact and deep as possible, you know, what you think, right? So, you know, imagine as if, you know, the CEOs or the C-level suite or the influencers at Apple are reading your stuff, Microsoft, you know, Leica, whatever have you. So don't sell yourself short, put yourself on a pedestal. It seems like a good idea, right? Also, I think one of the best ways to build Clout is to don't be afraid of pissing people off or alienating your audience, because the biggest shortage we have right now is people who have balls, in my opinion. And having the courage to share what you really think, what's really on your mind without watering yourself down. And I think this is where like Nassim Taleb is very trustworthy to me, because he himself will call out, like, you know, he calls Saudi Arabia Saudi Barbaria, he calls out Hillary Clinton Monsanto, etc. And a lot of people are afraid to call certain things or people out because they're afraid that they might be negatively impacted. Even for myself, right? Like, I think the most courageous things I think I personally actually have done is delete my Instagram, and no, the account that's currently active is actually, it's not me. I think it's a benevolent fan somewhere. And also, like, you know, have a Google talk, right? And you know, I love Google, whatever. I don't plan on deleting my Google account anytime soon. But you know, even openly blogging things which are anti-Google, like, you know, I I blog like Google is spam, and I'm very critical of a lot of things that Google does. And so don't censor yourself because you're afraid that you're going to be low-key punished for it. And you know, also like deleting my Instagram, right? Maybe I did take some sort of a low-key hit. Did take some sort of low-key hit financially, maybe. But I think in the long term, the genuineness of my clout, or my truthiness, or what I really believe in, far outweighs the small monetary ones. And actually, I think this is the big issue, is that like clout is actually more important than money, because once you get clout, it's actually very easy to make money, right? Like you know, you could teach workshops, you could sell your services, you could consult, you could sell products, whatever, and charge a premium for it. Whereas like, and actually I think that's the whole notion of quote unquote selling out. Selling out is not making money from what you do. Selling out is doing what is contrary to what you believe in for the sake of money. So for example, you know, like, oh, another thing that I did very, very proud of too was, you know, even though, you know, like saying what I really think about certain cameras or camera companies and stuff like that without fear of losing, like, you know, a good face and stuff like that, right? You know, like for example, making the video like why I never plan on ever buying a new digital Leica camera again, or whatever. And so also I think, okay, and this is also another big thing, this is the funny thing, I think people, what they try to do is they seek to gain more clout, influence, followers, subscribers, whatever, in order to get to get sponsored and to get free stuff or whatever, make money off of it. But actually it's hugely ironic, because once you are sponsored, you actually lose your clout, because like for example, you know, let's say you're some sort of extreme athlete, right? Once you're sponsored by Red Bull or Monster or whatever, right? And then somebody asks the interview question, is like, oh, is sugar or caffeine okay for kids or whatever, right? Do you think they're gonna tell their real opinion? No, you're afraid of losing your good ties with your sponsor, so that's not good. Or, you know, also this is why I never trust anyone who has a certain opinion or influence, who has ads or advertisements on their website, blog, videos, podcasts, whatever. So like for example, let's say blogger X is sponsored by camera company Y, right? Then when they write camera reviews or recommendations for cameras, you can't really give them 100% true feedback or trust in what they say, because they're low-key incentivized by these things. And this is why, you know, just Google it or watch my YouTube video on like why you can't trust any photography bloggers or influencers, including Eric Kim, because everyone has a low-key hidden incentive. And this is actually why maybe Eric Kim are more trustworthy when it comes to like maybe fitness and working out and powerlifting, whatever, because like I don't make money off of it and it's not really my segment. So whatever I say, it might be wrong, but at least it's truthful and honest in terms of what I personally believe in. So don't self-censor yourself seems to be a good one. Also, I think another very important thing is don't chase trends. Just focus on yourself. I believe in the idea of like creative isolation or creative seclusion, and just write or share or create what you really believe in. So I personally have much more influence from reading philosophers or dead philosophers or the Iliad, really old school ancient stuff, reading ancient etymology, ancient Greek or Proto-Indo-European, so much more than you know, anything modern and trendy. So actually, if you want to have more influence in Clout, actually the best thing is via negativa, is, you know, figuring out what to cut out. So don't watch Netflix, don't watch YouTube, don't use Instagram, don't use Facebook, don't use any media sources. And also a pro tip is, don't subscribe to any streaming services. Like, I don't have a Spotify, I don't have a Netflix, I don't have a Amazon Prime, whatever's. And if you're gonna watch a movie, either watch it in person and pay the money, or, you know, buy it from the Apple TV platform. And the only movies that have really inspired or influenced me is probably like the original Matrix, the movie 300, and maybe John Wick, and that's pretty much it. And so if you want to maximize your impact and your clout and your influence, reduce your sources of inspiration and focus on sources of inspiration which are kind of, I guess, older. And also know too that it doesn't have to be super like highbrow or anything. Like, I've probably found much more inspiration thinking about child rearing from the movie 300 or even the movie Ninja Assassin.